The following story has been brought to you by StoriesToInspire.org.
When Rabbi Yashiv, Zechat Tzadik Levracha, was in the hospital, so he needed, on Shabbos, they wanted to lane, and so they had just a minion of people, mispalim, in the hospital, and they were going to lane in Rabbi Yashiv's hospital room. Or maybe there was a base medrash. I'm not sure exactly where it took place, but anyway, they asked around the hospital, is there anyone that's able to lane this Shabbat? Anyone know the parsha? There was one like a 14-year-old boy in the hospital, and he knew the parsha. So they said, okay, you have a very big schus. You're going to have the schus to lane for Rabbi Yashiv. It's a tremendous schus. God ladar to be meitzim and kriyas atayra. So anyway, the boy laned, and he did a beautiful job. And afterwards, Rabbi Yashiv spoke to him and asked him, what are you doing in the hospital? You did such a beautiful job. Or what's a young boy doing in the hospital? He says, Nemach, my mother has Yana Machla. She's very, very sick, and she's in this room, and she needs a big bracha. And could you please daven for her? And this is her name, and that's why I'm in the hospital. And he said, tell me something, like what? Or they asked him afterwards, he said, is this your bar mitzvah parsha? He said, yes. I said, oh, so you laned it last year. So he said, well, not exactly. I didn't really lane it last year by my bar mitzvah. I said, well, why not? So you learned it, but you didn't lane it? He says, yeah. What happened was that there was some mess up in terms of the gabbai of the shul in his calendar, and we were put down that I was going to be laning that parsha. That was my bar mitzvah parsha, but he also, for some reason, put a different boy in that shul, that it was his bar mitzvah parsha also, that he was going to be the one to lane. And so both our families, our extended families, came that Shabbos, and all of a sudden we chapped that, we looked at each other and we said, oh, we got a problem here. And, I don't know why they didn't divide the parsha. Apparently that wasn't an option. So this boy said, I'm mevater. I really spent a long time learning how to lane this parsha. And obviously it would mean the world to me to lane it. But I'm not going to be stubborn. I'm not going to be kasha ke'erez. I'm not going to be like this tree that cannot bend. I want to give in, I want to be mevater, and it's my schus to be able to give up the laning so that the other boy should have the simcha of laning his bar mitzvah parsha after learning it so hard. And they understood from then that that's the schus that he had the following year to lane for Rabbi Yashiv.
Enjoyed this story? Come again. Bring a friend. StoriesToInspire.org